Just in the event that nobody had ever informed you of this topic, this is what this video is about. All miscarriages and all abortions grow up in heaven. So if you're a parent and you have suffered this, where your wife, your girlfriend, has recently had, or maybe perhaps a long time ago, many years back, has had either a miscarriage or an abortion, or perhaps both, and you've lost multiple children this way, just know that your children are alive and well in heaven, and you need to give them names. Children pick their parents from heaven. They pick their parents, they pick the life. I know you'll find this a little hard to believe, but there's leagues of children in heaven that were never loved on earth, and they're taken care of by Jesus. And we all choose the role that we will play in this game. Like, in other words, you chose, if you're a man or a woman, whatever, your appearance, your characteristics, personality, traits, habits, idiosyncrasies, your physical attributes. You choose all of that, by the way, before you come to earth. You choose your sexuality before you come to earth. But once you're born to the earth, it's not a matter of choice anymore. It's a matter of living those choices that you made pre-earth incarnation, if you're not aware of it. And again, as before with all of these videos, if it doesn't resonate with you, don't embrace it. But this is the truth. You do it because you have to experience these things. As I've said in a previous video, you have to assume every form in order for you to have that full, and complete knowledge of this earth, and then you move to the next. Like, in other words, you have to be the wind. You have to assume the form of what it feels like to be a rock, the mountains, the trees, the flowers, snails, snakes, whales. You have to go through the whole gamut of all of it. And then the human experience is the last, because it's the lowest vibrational experience on the planet, because they are the least evolved, and they are the least, let's just say, connected to source, because all of the other species have a direct connection. You don't see them panicking and freaking out. There's no matrix that's messing with their mind. And the only ones that are exempt from this list, as far as human beings, are special needs, because the system cannot infiltrate their brain and brainwash them. So that's why you don't see them in public. You don't see them very often. Even when I was a kid in school, they kept them away from us, and they kept them in their own facility. And I never understood that, because they don't want them mixing with the normal, oh, you're normal and they're not. That's garbage, man. Because I have a daughter with special needs. She's the most amazing person in all of creation. The reason why they used to call them back in the 70s mentally retarded is because they want you to think there's something wrong with them. No, the truth is that what you call normal, those are the people that are mentally retarded. And the ones that you call mentally retarded, those are the very embodiment of heaven on earth. That's why they keep them from you. And that's why they make you think that there's something wrong with them or they're special. I only use the term special needs just because that's what you can identify with. I'm not down with political correctness, because that's all garbage. That's just all garbage. Common Core math, political correctness was all designed by the same, clique that controls everybody's brain. So, but anyway, getting back to my initial topic, you do choose everything when you're a child in heaven. And there's children in hell that they pick their parents and they come down and they're evil. Or I shouldn't say come down. I'm just trying to say they come to. It's a common misconception that heaven is up and hell is down. It's all garbage. It's all just pre-programmed nonsense. But yeah, I mean, if you have a girlfriend or a wife, or had one in the past, and you guys aren't together anymore, and you had kids and it didn't work out, where there was a miscarriage or an abortion, those souls, they grew up in heaven. And whatever year that miscarriage was, or whatever year that abortion was, from that time to this time, that's exactly how old they are. As if they were, on the earth growing up, just as your children on earth do. So give them names, and just take comfort and take solace in knowing that when you pass from this place, you will be greeted by your children. that, unfortunately didn't get a chance to, live out a full life or even experience what it's like to be born into this world, into a physical body. And then they have souls that they try to incarnate. They try to place themselves in the womb of mothers and either a miscarriage or an abortion. And for some reason, they can't find themselves being born in the physical. And unfortunately, they have to keep going through this over and over and over again. I have a granddaughter in heaven. And, there was an abortion done quite a few years back by one of my sons and his wife. And what happened was the child, she started to communicate with me spiritually. And she told me her name and everything. And she said that I can't seem to be born to earth. And she referred to herself as a tenant of the womb. Like, in other words, just a temporary occupant that can't seem to find permanency and be born. So she has to keep, incarnating again. And she can't find the right type of mother to actually birth her into this world. It's either a miscarriage or an abortion she keeps having to go through. And it broke my heart. So just so you know, if ever in your life you've ever had an experience where you're a parent and you're either the mother that I'm speaking with or the father that you've, had, you've conceived children with your partner, your girlfriend or your wife, and that, she either had a miscarriage or you guys both decided to have an abortion for whatever reason, those children, they're in heaven. This isn't a topic you're really going to hear of. There's a lot of things I can speak of on my channel, and a lot of people will be like, well, this guy's crazy, he's nuts, I don't believe it. Listen, as far as your belief, I'm going to just tell you straight how the universe tells me to tell to tell human beings. The truth negates belief. It doesn't matter what you believe. You could believe that the sky is made of Swiss cheese and ice cream. It doesn't make a difference. Your belief doesn't have anything to do with what you call a universe, because what you call a universe has been around a lot longer than you. And when human beings are gone from this planet, and they will be, the universe will move on to the next research project. First, it's the dinosaurs, then it's human beings, and then it'll be something else after human beings are gone. The universe isn't, like, oh my God, human beings don't believe in us. We're going to collapse and fall, and we're just going to, implode upon ourselves. It doesn't work like that. They have no concern for these things. You're talking about something that created you. Why would the universe be concerned with what you think or feel or believe? It's just irrelevant. So this is the way it is. I didn't make it up, but these are messages that I'm asked, especially right now. It's like 2:30 in the morning. That's why I look like I just woke up, because I did. I usually don't get up till 7 o'clock. But I was just woken up by my spirits to just send this message that just take comfort in knowing that your children are safe and at peace with God. If it was a miscarriage or an abortion, or if you've done both, if you've been through both, if you had an abortion because you were younger and you just couldn't take care of the child, or later on down the road, if you had a miscarriage and you were planning the baby and for some reason it didn't happen. It doesn't matter how many times. It doesn't matter how many times. Jesus is taking care of them. And I use the name Jesus because there is a celestial force that you would call Jesus. But the name Jesus Christ is a fictitious biblical character. But I just use Jesus because it just makes it easier. Because the name Jesus didn't appear in historical text until about 4,070 years ago. So you can see where all that's going, but I'm not going to go down that road. But anyway, that's the truth. And your children pick you, before they come to earth. They pick their parents, the appearance of the parents. And by appearance, I say your color, all of that. It's all chosen. They come to earth already having chosen everything. The sexual preference, the gender, the character, personality, traits, habits, idiosyncrasies, the likes, what's going to, be as far as that. But they're not picking every experience, because you're not responsible for the way the world is. You can't be. That's why your greatest power when you are confronted with an experience is how you act, react, or how you allow it to affect you or not. Sometimes, more often than not, silence is the greatest power. Silence and distance and non-involvement and disassociation. Just be an observer, say, oh, okay, and then that's it. Because once you become involved in that low vibrational field of energy, that transaction going on between the energies, then you become that, and then you lower yourself to their level, and then you know better than they are, vibrationally speaking, and then everybody loses out. So I just wanted to leave you with the fact that if you have ever suffered from a miscarriage, or your partner has, even if you're not with them anymore, it doesn't matter. Or if for whatever reason the both of you needed to, have an abortion because you couldn't take care of the baby, whatever the case is, I don't know. Or if it's just a woman that I'm speaking with, if you, had to go through both, your children are alive and well, they're safe and at peace with God in heaven. Just give them names. Just figure how many years from ago these things happened, and that's exactly how old they are in as far as age, because that stays the same. And more often than not, they wind up becoming angels of yours. And they watch everything you do. And they always encourage you, and they guide you, and they protect you, and they guard you, and they just want you to be safe and happy. And they have unconditional love. But some of them, the children especially that were the abortions, sometimes they carry a lot of, let's just say, disappointment. And, a lot of them carry anger because they want to be born. And when that process is cut short prematurely, it makes them very mad. Just like people. If you think that you're going to have this great thing coming to you, and all of a sudden, whap, you just get your whole life shut down, and that whole thing just goes away. All of the possibilities, that, oh, this is going to be great for me. It's going to work out for me. Then boom, you just get cut out, you know? Imagine somebody telling you, "Oh yeah, come live with me. Don't worry about it. We'll work it out. You have a great. We'll have a great time. You can have a room. I'll take care of everything. Don't worry about it. We're ready to receive you, and you're going to travel all the way across the country, spend thousands of dollars to go to these people that you think that are either your friends and family, and everything's all set up for you. They're ready to receive you. You got everything ready to go, and then you're already like halfway on your journey on the road, and you call them and say, "Okay, I'm going to be there. 12 hours." And they're like, "Listen, don't bother coming. We don't have a room for you." We don't want you here. Goodbye. And you're just like, what? Caught way off guard. So that's what it's like for these children when, they incarnate in the womb and then they're aborted. So you can't blame them. You can't blame them, because especially nowadays with all these young kids having kids, and they have no regard for life. They don't have any regard for themselves. That's why they have multiple partners, because they don't regard themselves as being sacred. They're very lascivious. They're very promiscuous. They're very salacious in nature. They just don't care. They just think like, yeah, I could just sleep around everybody and it's no big deal. Well, there's something called sexual soul ties, and it is a big deal. I've done a video on that before. And those things don't just go away. It's nearly impossible to cut sexual soul ties. It is. But in closing, I'm just saying, listen, if you've had in the past miscarriage, abortion, or both, your children are safe and at peace with God in heaven. Give them names, and however many years ago these things happened, that's precisely the age of the children. And just send them your love and your prayers and your blessings, and just know that they're with you always, just like God. Well, anyway, you have a wonderful day. God bless. Take care, and I will do another video very, very soon. Peace.